Alright, it's 3 a.m. I hope I don't look like a train wreck.
Come alive, she says to me. Oh, that's embarrassing. I didn't see you there. Hi, I'm Alona, 38 years old.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm 54. This is Max. How old is Max? 3. Max is 3.
I'm Karen. I'm 44.
My name is Jessica. I'm 37 years old.
My name is Samantha. I am 26 years old.
Devari here. I am 48 years old.
Hannah Epstein here. I am 39 years old. Usually I have my beautiful daughter Ridley with me, but unfortunately she's quarantined at her dad's because we're having a bit of a COVID scare. She will be 10 on November 11th.
This is from the UK, from Catherine.
From Australia.
I live in Jersey. I'm originally from Westchester County, New York.
I live in New York City.
Ridley and I live in Northern Virginia, about 5 miles from the Pentagon.
I live in Pennsylvania.
I live in New Jersey, but I'm originally from Queens, New York.
And I've been a loyal now for 13 years, even though some people say 13 is unlucky for some. It's lucky when you're a loyal.
I have been a loyal since around 2009.
I have been a loyal since November 13th, 2016.
I have been a loyal since August 31st, 2006.
I have been a loyal since Christmas of 2005.
I've been a Criss Angel fan since 2007 when I saw Mind Freak on TV.
I first came across your DVDs in the UK in 2000, I think it was 2013 when I first seen the full series in England, and I absolutely was memorized with what I'd seen. I never seen an artist that could have that prestige and that presence with any other magician or an illusionist, so you absolutely rocked it.
In December, I was at my sister's house during Christmas, and my niece had on season 4 of Mind Freak. It was all uphill from there.
My brother-in-law asked for Mind Freak season 1, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta put this on. You gotta see this guy. You'll love it." It probably was the worst gift I've ever given anyone, because when he left that night, he was not allowed to take that DVD with him. I needed to finish watching it, and I did. I think I stayed up the entire night finishing the season.
And the reason why I know the exact date is because that was the very first time that I saw you live, and it also happens to be my birthday. I went to Vegas for the very first time, and when I landed at the airport, I saw advertisements, and I was like, ooh, Criss Angel, I want to go see him. So it was my birthday that day, and I went that night. Amazing, just amazing. And I went again 2 days later. My son is also a big fan of yours. He's seen you like 4 times. He really likes you a lot as well.
I saw a commercial for the show on TV and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of this guy before. I've never seen what he's done. I have no clue, and I'm gonna watch it and see what this is all about. And so that was the beginning of season 3, which was the Luxor Light episode, and it was complete, life-changing experience after that.
I was on vacation with my family when I was 12 years old, and I wrote about it in my diary. My mom was putting my younger brothers to bed in the other hotel room, and I was going into the living room to see what my dad was watching on TV, and I sat down on the couch and I saw this woman give birth to 3 midgets. The first episode that I ever saw was Metamorphosis, and I was hooked ever since. I went up to my parents probably the next week and was like, hey, is that magician guy on again? And I think my parents kind of gave each other that look of, oh god, what have we done? And maybe it'll be just a phase. Nah.
Favorite thing Criss has done on TV?
I would say would be the one that I was in, the 100 Gone, is probably my favorite.
The answer, I think, has changed over the years for me. It used to be Luxor Light.
I would have to say Luxor Light, first of all, because that's the first big illusion that I've ever seen Criss do.
It's just such an iconic image.
I love mass levitation that he did in season 5. I love, the buried alive that he did in season 1 and season 5, technically with White Death. What else?
I have finally settled on it being Metamorphosis because it's the first episode I ever saw. It kick-started this whole loyal journey for me. It's the episode that I really just stared at and I went, how the hell did he do that? I also love, Burned Alive. Whenever I show people Mind Freak for the first time, that's the episode that I show them because it's, right out of the gate. This is what you're in for. As an adult too, I think body suspension.
Body suspension.
Body suspension.
The helicopter suspension.
God, there's something about that episode.
I think the suspension just, I know how much that can mean to some people.
I think it's because, Criss struggled. A lot of times, we don't get to see that part.
Especially when he's, being lifted from the ground by helicopter, purely by hooks in his skin.
He had a hard time with that one, and he never gave up. When I'm having a really tough day and I struggle with really bad anxiety and really bad depression, and when I'm having like one of those days, sometimes that's the only thing that gives me any kind of hope. So that episode has a special place in my heart.
It always holds a very special place within my heart.
Accomplishing something that you really didn't think you could do.
And then every time I hear the song Alone I Break by Korn, it takes me right back to that episode. It was the very first episode I ever saw.
When I watched it as a teenager, I found it gross. Now I really tear up every time that I see it.
It was such a beautiful, almost haunting kind of thing. That and the wood chipper. There was something about the wood chipper. Again, I love horror and I love dark things. That was so epically gruesome. And your poor mother.
I mean, there's just so many. Be here for hours.
What is my favorite thing that you do in the show?
You're asking me to pick my favorite part. Okay.
All of it? I love the audience reactions.
It has to be when you show up in the crowd.
Whenever you pop up in the audience, they love it.
I love to watch the expression on other people's faces when they see it. And you're so lucky that you get to see that all the time. That's how I feel also when I see other people. I get a lot of joy out of seeing people like, oh my God.
The big grand illusions, like the things that really make you go, how did he do that?
Definitely the levitation. It is absolutely incredible.
Any levitation falls in that category. Disappear and reappear, and just all of the big grand illusions are the ones I like the most.
I think Christos gets probably my favorite reaction because I'm a little dark, so.
Christos, which was absolutely amazing, and you blew my mind.
Christos, and I love the razor blades. Even though Christos isn't in the show, Criss, I have a very sick side. It's gory, it's creepy, and it's fun.
A constant favorite has always been the doves.
I've always loved the doves.
I think would have to be the doves. I have just such an emotional connection to it, and I can't really explain why.
Something that brings a bit of a tear to my eye. It's very beautiful, it's very magical.
Every time I hear Against the Tide, it does something to me, and it just makes me feel so emotional and so hypnotized.
You're right there, you're seeing it for yourself.
The colors and just the imagery of the fire and the white doves, I think it's just so beautiful. And even when Criss takes the show on tour and Stefan does his routine with the cards and that song plays, it's my favorite part of Raw. No offense, Criss.
Celebrate. I'm a stagehand and a rigger, and I love lasers, so it's a really freaking fun piece.
I know there are huge, might be crazy, so many huge illusions, but Black Star, to me, the very first time I saw it, I was pretty close. And I remember feeling like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to be one of those people walking down the street. And Criss Angel stops you and is like, can I do something for you? It feels very personal, and I love that. I love that. Put it back in. Please put it back in.
My favorite Criss memory.
How much time do we have?
I could write a book.
Oh, God.
These questions, man.
One of my all-time favorite memories is when Criss actually started touring. In 2014 and 2015 was when that first started happening, and some of the first tour dates he ever went to was in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. He went to Billy's Diner, Vision Bar, and he did 2 shows at the State Theater, all within a 3-day span. That was really exciting for me to not only see a performer that I love, but to see him 3 days in a row in such a unique time. Whenever a celebrity or anyone tours where you live, that holds a special memory.
The only one that sticks out would have to be 2011, my very first trip to Vegas, taking my seat in the beautiful Luxor Theatre and witnessing Believe. I took my seat and I was chosen as banner girl. Who would have ever thought, the little girl from Australia would be able to actually see Criss Angel, the #1 illusionist in the world, live on stage.
When you brought me up on stage in the skeleton act, I was completely in awe. It was the first time I'd ever got up on stage with you. I think you were probably freaking out a lot more than me, because when we do the whole thing, when you asked me to look up and go, what's fair, is it fair? I kept saying no, yes, no, yes. I didn't know what the hell I was saying. You were so calm, you were so collected, and I was like, yes, no, and you were probably saying to yourself, I'm never having her back on stage again. But following that incident, we did have a few more moments on stage, so I've always appreciated you for remaining calm and professional with me.
I know if I say the Broadway door incident, Karen will kill me right now. I'm so blessed to have as many as I do, because as a teenager, I really just thought that I would meet you maybe once or twice in my life, get a picture, get an autograph, that was it, and I would have died happily. Atlantic City, and a whole bunch of us stayed after the show to meet you and say hi to you, that you were kind enough to set up for us. So all of my loyal friends have the word loyal tattooed on them, and I kind of wanted that. So I asked Criss to mark me as an official loyal, and he took my arm right above his signature here, wrote the word loyal, looked at it, and said, I don't like it. He spat on it and used hand sanitizer to try to get it off. Went to go rewrite it, and he goes, instead of writing loyal, what if I just wrote, I love you? And I was gushing so hard. I'm gushing right now. I don't know what to say. Okay. So right above his signature are Criss's words, I love you. Criss actually likes me. That's a good thing to know.
When I first met him, I was in that season 6, 100 Gone, and I kind of put myself in between him and where he had to go, and he walked right into me, and I gave him a little stone that said believe on it. He made it appear and disappear about 4 times for me, and then he gave me a hug, and he was kind of being ushered away to get on with what he had to do.
I think #1 favorite was when I brought my dad with me to Las Vegas to see Mind Freak. It was so amazing to see how it really mattered to Criss that I brought my dad there. I wasn't expecting that, I knew he'd be awesome because he always is. He went so far out of his way to make us feel special and to make a point to let everyone know that I was there with my dad, had him come up and take a picture in front of the stage. It made my dad feel so special, and it was just a really emotional moment for me because I had one hero meeting another, and it was a beautiful experience. I will never ever forget that night.
Last year, when I went to Planet Hollywood to see you, you were having some issues before the show. The crowd, we were all waiting in the lobby for the doors to open, and everybody was like, what's going on? What's going on? And you yourself came out and spoke to us in the lobby. Twice, not just once, but twice you came out to update us. I thought to myself, who does this? And I realized Criss does this. This is who Criss Angel is. This is what he does. And this is why he's loved by so many people, because you're just an amazing person, and you're sweet, and you're kind, and you're caring, and you're loving. And I really felt that night that you really want to have a connection with us, with your fans. It feels very special to us as loyals, as fans, that you really do go out of your way for us in so many different ways. So thank you for that. It really was a very special night.
For me personally is probably when I went on my Criss tour. I met up with Criss Angel Mind Freak in Pennsylvania, and then went with them to Long Island. And in Pennsylvania did the football party meet and greet, and Criss invited me and Jess to be his guests at Billy's Diner. And then in Long Island, I actually got to go on stage and hold the freaking pins for the sword dropping, and you scared the crap out of me. Honestly, I think my favorite memories are how amazing you've been to my daughter. And one of my favorites was definitely this time in Pennsylvania with Supernaturalists, when you told her you had seen my tweets, but you told her that you saw that she was in front of your theater, that she had to take a nap in order to come see you, and that she did, and she didn't understand social media, so it was magic to her. Just how good you are to her is really special too, so thank you.
How has Criss affected or changed my life?
If I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't know how Criss has changed my life because I found him at a point in time where I was just starting to develop my life. You know, as a kid, don't really think for yourself, but I was going into my preteen years. So Criss hasn't really changed my life more so than he's shaped my life, and he shaped me into the person that I am. His morals and his teachings have stuck with me from childhood up until now. I don't remember a time in my life that Criss wasn't in it. I like it that way. I like knowing that Criss has always been there throughout the most important stages of my life. Has taught me some of the most important lessons that I can learn.
Always to believe, never ever give up on yourself, because that's the one thing we don't do.
He's given me the power to believe again, to believe in people, to believe that there's still goodness in people, and to believe in myself.
He's always been a proponent of believing in yourself and just looking for the good and looking for the positive things.
We gotta believe, we gotta achieve, we gotta move forward.
That if I want to achieve something, if I want to do something, I can. If you believe, you can achieve anything.
And you've always taught me that, and you've always kept me positive in life, and I appreciate that. You've always made me believe, and you've always given me hope. And that's one thing I can say about you.
He's just always been a really positive influence. It's always good to be a light in the world, and I definitely think Criss is one of those people.
The day you saved my life. It was an episode of Mind Freak where you looked into the camera and said, if you believe, you can achieve anything. And at that point in my life, I was way into drugs. Hurricane Katrina had just happened. I was at my rock bottom. I couldn't even send toothpaste or toothbrushes to help this devastated place. And in that moment, I chose to believe. The next morning I woke up and I got a call to go hurricane relief in Louisiana for weeks. I was down there for a month. In that time I got clean. I never looked back. You inspired me, rejuvenated me. You were my hero and showed me how to be my own hero.
He's just inspired me to be a better person in general. Watching all the work that he does for children with cancer, I really wanted to contribute to that. I wanted to really support the cause. And that's when I decided I was going to do a fundraiser. We do the holiday fair, and we do the bottles, and we do, the school store that raises money for the Johnny Christopher Foundation. You don't have to have money. As long as you're willing to try, you could do it. A group of little kids from Brooklyn that don't have lunch money or trip money most of the time were able to raise all that money. That's an amazing lesson to learn, even me as an adult, and for them as kids, so empowering. So I just feel like that lesson I learned because of Criss, because of my love for Criss and wanting to contribute to his passion and his mission in life.
I was never able to do anything on my own. And in order for me to be on 100 Gone, I had to fly there by myself. And now I am so much better at doing things on my own. I fly on my own all the time. It was really scary the first time, but now I'm just an old hat at it because I've been there so many times and been to over 80 of his shows. And if I want to continue to do that, I'm going to have to continue flying by myself.
The best effect you've had on me, these other loyals that I've become such good friends with.
I've made so much wonderful friends through following you.
If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this right now because I wouldn't have these wonderful friends who come up with these ideas to do these amazing things for you.
I mean, literally, I've got some of the best friends in the world because of you today, and I really appreciate that. That's given me something that I absolutely cherish.
If I had to describe Criss in one word, life-changing? Is that one? That's 2 words. Alright, well, whatever. Life-changing. I feel like a different person when I'm around Criss. I'm happier. I'm so much more relaxed. I just feel better about life in general. More confident, more special. Just like a totally different person when I am even in the same space as Criss. I wish I could bottle it, but I can't. That's why I go there so much.
The one word that's sticking out in my mind is mesmerizing. Whether or not you see him on TV, see him live, or get the chance to even meet him at a meet and greet, backstage, whatever it may be, he's always mesmerizing. He is truly an entertainer, and he is truly just mesmerising. Even with his words, I get drawn in every time I'm hearing him speak or seeing him perform.
I think I would say extravagant. Everything he does is so incredible.
Escapism. And the reason why I say that is because, well, escapism, it's kind of a play on words, you know, escape, magic. That's what you do sometimes. When I'm at your show, I just let go of everything. The world is totally crazy, you know, even before COVID and whatever. When I go to a show, I just get to just sit there and relax, an intense relax, because my heart's always beating because I'm always excited to see what you're going to do next. But I just escape, and it's so nice. And I always look forward to just sitting there and watching you do your thing, and it's just always so pleasurable. So thank you so much for that.
I don't mean this in any religious sense, savior. Like I said, Criss has been there for me in the most important times of my life, and that includes the times of my life that I wish never happened, and some of the more darker points that were really difficult to get through. I can honestly say that I don't know what I would have done, or if I would be here, if it wasn't for Criss. And even the hardest of times for me, I can just turn to Mindfreak, I can turn to old videos that I have of interacting with him or interacting with these wonderful people that I've met over the years. I wasn't alone in this journey. I wasn't the only person that was this crazy about him, and they just opened their arms to me and accepted me, and I've really found a family with these people that really gave me another home. I connect to them as much as I connect to him and his art.
I'm gonna go with rejuvenating. No matter what is going on, how hard times feel, how lost I have ever been, you always have been able to pick me up, showed me how to dust myself off, and you've always just put a smile on my face. I can always turn to your shows, your inspirations, your videos, the memories, and smile and know that I'm worth it, I'm worthy, and I just have to believe.
Criss, I know this time really sucks. For you, for your family, for all of us, it sucks.
We love you, we miss you.
We're gonna get through this.
We will all get through this. Our jobs will come back, and we will continue to make people smile and happy and bring joy.
And I cannot wait to see you live again.
Because that's what I'm looking forward to.
Whether it's in Vegas or, I don't know, New York maybe?
I hope you all are safe and sound and well.
And I love you. Say I love you.
No matter what, we'll be there for you. We're always here for you. We love you. We are always here to support you no matter what.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Criss.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that you do.
Mwah. Mindfreak.
Mindfreak!
Mind freak!
He's the mind freak. What more can I say?